Welcome in. Thanks for joining us for the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. There are nearly 160,000 registered voters in Beaufort County. Fewer than 1,000 of them, though, voted in the first week of early voting in the local elections this fall. Voting continues this week with the actual election day, of course, Tuesday the 7th. We all vote on a countywide school bond referendum. Bluffton and Port Royal residents have elections for mayor and town council seats. Fripp Island also has multiple bond measures on the ballot. You can vote between 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. at the usual early voting sites: the Election Board office on John Galt Road in Beaufort, the Bluffton Rec Center gym on Ulmer Road, the Hilton Head Island Government Center across from First Presbyterian Church, and the St. Helena Island Library. You will need a photo ID. Now, that special mayoral election in Beaufort will be held in December, with early voting coming up after Thanksgiving. The town of Bluffton is getting about the business of filling its parks with new amenities. Next spring, construction will begin at Oscar Fraser Park on a 2,200 square foot splash pad with 23 different spray points. That'll be fun. It'll also be handicap accessible. The town's also continuing its conversion of the new Riverside Barn Park, with $11 million committed to building event space with restroom buildings, signage, and more lighting, a playground, and trails. 37-year-old Renita Boardman of Beaufort's been charged with killing her roommate during an argument back in August at the Spanish Trace Apartments near the Paris Island Recruit Depot. The 37-year-old male victim's name still has not been released, but Boardman is charged with shooting and killing him during an argument over property. Turns out the downturn in the state's housing market a lot slower here in Hilton Head and Beaufort, which actually showed an uptick over the third quarter of last year, while the state had its fewest home sales in the fall quarter in 5 years. Inventories in the Lowcountry are rising slightly from the lows earlier in the year, according to area realtors. Buyers, though, are still spooked by higher interest rates and are less likely to accept any housing defects. Hilton Head home sales up 5.5% over the third quarter a year ago. Beaufort's sales up 6.5%. Median prices were also up, though the average days on the market also was up, spiking on Hilton Head to 151 days from only 112 a year ago. Numbers of homes are still down for the year by 8% on Hilton Head, home sales that is, though prices are up 8%. Beaufort area prices up 9%, while sales are down about 4%. We talked a lot about the more than 200,000 people who have moved into South Carolina in the last year, but over 150,000 people also moved out of the state in 2022, according to the Census Bureau. Almost a third of them to either neighboring North Carolina or Georgia. Florida, Virginia, and Tennessee were the next most popular destinations for us to move to, though nearly 12,000 people also moved to Texas and California, though nearly twice that many moved from Texas and California to South Carolina. More details on these stories and other local news is available on the sources listed on your screen. We got weather coming up, sports a little later on, but the weather, that's the news and will be for the next couple of days. Maria Soden with a very changeable forecast.
Thanks, Bob. Yep, so taking a look ahead, we are going to have another beautiful week of weather with little to no rain, but we are going to see a temp drop about midweek. Taking a look at Tuesday, however, it is going to be sunny, with Hilton having a high 76, a low of 60, Bluffton's going to have a high 79, a low of 59, and Beaufort's going to have a high 77 and a low of 59. The sunrise for Tuesday is going to be at 7:39 and sunset's going to be at 6:33. Taking a look at the beach tides, high tide's going to be 11:39 a.m. and low tide's going to be at 6:59 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week, Wednesday, again, it's going to be windy and chilly with that temp drop. Highs are only going to get into the 60s and 50s, and lows are going to drop into the 40s. Come Thursday, it's going to be sunny but still chilly, with highs getting into the 60s and lows staying in the 40s. And then come Friday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy with a slight increase in temperatures. Highs are going to get into the 70s, lows are going to stay in the 40s. That's it for today. Let's send it back to the desk.
Still much ahead on the WHHI Daily News. We're going to talk about the Pat Conroy Festival held over this past weekend. We'll also update you on where the high school football teams are headed as the playoffs begin. Stay with us.